This week, we're diving into the powerhouses that fuel every game changer in the world: innovation and creativity. These are the driving forces behind success, whether you're solving everyday problems, building a business, or breaking into a new field. Creativity, it isn't just for artists, and innovation isn't just for tech wizards. It's for anyone ready to think outside the box, challenge the norm, and come up with fresh solutions. We'll explore how to spark that creative energy, tap into your innovative side, and apply these skills to crush your goals. This week's thought leader, she's a Marquise's Who's Who 24 listee and a CEO of a technology and business consulting firm. You'll definitely want to hear her story and how she's educating, inspiring, and uplifting the next generation of leaders. Lastly, if you're open to work opportunities within healthcare, then slide into my DMs about my production, which I'm putting together to spotlight you and to help you get your next job. Get ready to unlock your inner trailblazer. Let's get it, hustlers.
Hi, my name is Tezzy Gilbert Baldwin. I am the CEO of Develop Me 10X. It is a company that my husband and I, David Baldwin, started together. I am married. I have two beautiful children, two boys, one 15 and one 6. And going back to our company, Develop Me 10X, it is a tech and business development consulting company. We offer tech solutions gamified by way of gamifying it to small businesses, and more specifically, we typically work in spaces with government agencies, healthcare companies, etc. But we are offering our solutions to small businesses. We also have a technology boot camp that is slated for high schoolers and young adults and any adult that's interested in learning anything tech related, coding, different tech languages, etc. We offer that boot camp. And for me, I actually started a podcast called OMG, I Am a Caregiver. It is on YouTube and Spotify podcasts. This is dedicated to anyone who is a caregiver that is looking for education and resources on how to provide the best care to the ones that they're caring for, as well as themselves. And we also have our technology podcast, which is called Just Ask David B. That is on all of the networks, Spotify, Podbean, etc. I look forward to you learning a little bit more about me. My inspiration comes from my background. I am one of 8 kids. My mom passed away and then ended up continuing to caregive at different parts and times of my life. And so what has inspired me on my current path is just what I said. I'm looking for ways to be able to inspire, educate, uplift, and help others, not only in my situation, but in whatever situation they're in, to find their way. And also to be able to, from a business standpoint, to be able to pursue those passions that you didn't think were within your reach, because everything is within your reach, regardless if you believe it or not. You can do anything. And how has my vision evolved? I've done everything for everyone in a corporate standpoint. And what I've decided is my vision should be for me and helping others. So how has it evolved? I am now dedicating the rest of the time that I have on this earth, which is hopefully another 100 years, to creating products and doing podcasts and getting information into the hands of the people that need it the most, that probably otherwise would not have access to it. And so I am looking forward to being able to educate, uplift, inspire others that are coming in after me and that are trailblazers. For me, personal and professional success has evolved as I've evolved in age. When I was a lot younger, probably a lot of the ages of the Gen Zers, my definition of personal success was, as we say now, having the bag, making the most amount of money, making 6 figures, which I was able to do at a pretty young age and sustain that over time. And as you grow and build, it does this kind of thing. And professional success is being able to achieve those titles and those jobs that you don't think that are within your reach. Now that I've gotten older, professional success is defined as what I'm able to leave for my family, what I'm able to do for others in a personal space. it exceeds what I'm able to do for myself. When I was younger, it was more dedicated for me. And now that I've gotten a little bit of age and wisdom under my belt, my personal success is dedicated to my service to others and what I'm able to do for other people. Professionally, it's much of the same. They kind of go hand in hand. What I'm able to do for others. My goal at this point in my life is to be a servant first and help others as much as I can in any way possible that I am able to do so. Provide that knowledge. You'll hear me say that a lot because knowledge is power. And to be able to create those safe spaces for people to come, unload, rebuild, regroup, and then move on to the next best thing. Because what I do for one, it will transcend, and that will keep going from person to person to person. What I do for one will be done for others through other people. So I'm looking forward to it. One of the biggest misconceptions in my industry is not having enough of the right information or having access to the best information, the healthiest information. Google is our life, but I want you to know that there is a lot of good information and resources that are available to you regardless of what tax bracket you fall in. I hear from a lot of people on a daily basis that the decisions that they make are obviously and more than often rushed. They're not well thought out, and a lot of it has to do with the lack of education. That is my mission from a healthcare space, from the lane that I swim in, which is to provide all types of valuable, resourceful information that helps you to be able to make the best and clearest decision that you're able to do without feeling rushed, without feeling like you do not have resources, information available to you. That is what I'm here to do. That's a misconception that it's just not enough. You don't know where to find it, but it's out there. And I'm here to provide it, and I'm happy to be able to do so. Challenges and setbacks. This is a really good one. When I was early on in my career, about 24, 25 years old, I was like a workaholic. I worked. I didn't take time for myself, traveling all around the world, going here and there, just thinking I was invincible. I didn't need rest. I could do it all without the help of others. And I was quickly reminded through my body that that's not possible, and it definitely isn't sustainable. I was hospitalized for about 4 months with walking pneumonia. Thought I was going to die several times, but you can't do everything. And you do need to listen to your body, and you do need help. It takes a village. No one can walk this life alone and be successful by themselves. Behind every successful person is a team of people. Regardless if you're an entrepreneur or if you're working in a corporate space, you can't do it alone. And so me learning how to trust and share and delegate as a leader has really taught me the value of other people and their abilities and their skills. So that was the biggest setback. That was a lesson that has lived with me my whole life. And I keep it near to my heart. And when I start getting into those spaces where I feel myself going back, I'm quickly reminded that I need people and that now I need to start trusting more and delegating and letting others share their life. Thank you guys for sticking with me through this interview. I appreciate the time that are caring for loved ones, family, friends, etc. And these are resources. This is information. I'm having guests on there, doctors, lawyers, nurses, holistic medicine, this and that, just to be able to provide you with all the resources that I can possibly think of, and then anything else that I missed that someone brings to my attention to help you take the best care of whomever you're caring for, as well as yourself. So you're only as good to the person as you are to yourself. So you can't care for others without caring for you. So the podcast is dedicated to caregivers, again, all around the world. We also have a podcast called Just Ask David B. It is a tech podcast for high schoolers, young adults, and any adult that's looking to learn how to gamify technology in a non-classroom setting. Again, we've had several high schoolers take it, a couple from other countries, Japan to be specific, that have really enjoyed working with my husband in that particular space. So So thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Creativity, it's that spark that leads to the next big idea, the solution to a problem, or a fresh way of seeing the world. But sometimes getting that spark to ignite, it feels impossible, right? Today we're talking about how to boost your creativity and unlock the power of thinking differently. First, here's the truth that you need to know. Creativity is like a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger that it gets. But like any muscle, it can get tired, stuck, or weak if you don't use it enough. So let's talk about ways to get your creativity flowing again. Tip 1, break your routine. Routines, they can be helpful, but they can also be a trap. The same ways of thinking. You want to get creative? Shake things up. Take a different route to work, try on a new hobby. Even something as simple as rearranging your workspace can give you fresh perspectives. Sometimes breaking out of your usual routine, that's all you need to open up your mind to new ideas. Tip 2, surround yourself with inspiration. Creativity doesn't happen in a vacuum. Surround yourself with things that inspire you. Whether listening to new music, diving into a good book, or spending time in nature, feeding your mind with fresh ideas from different sources can light that creative fire. And remember, inspiration often comes from when you least expect it, so keep your eyes and your ears open. Tip 3, embrace curiosity. One of the best ways to boost creativity is to ask more questions. Don't just accept things as they are. Get curious. Why are things done a certain way? How can they be done differently? Asking questions opens the doors to new possibilities and helps you see beyond the obvious. Let your curiosity lead you to unexpected ideas. Tip 4, give yourself permission to fail. Here's the thing about creativity, not every idea will be a winner, and that's okay. Failure is part of the process. The more you're willing to take risks, try out new ideas, even if they flop, the more creative you'll become. Give yourself permission to fail, learn from it, and keep experimenting. Remember, some of the most significant ideas came from ideas that didn't work the first time. Tip 5, collaborate with others. 2 heads are better than 1. Collaborating with others, man, it can be a changer for your creativity. Different perspectives can help you see things in ways you would have not seen on your own. Bounce ideas off of a friend, brainstorm with colleagues, or join a creative community where you can share and grow together. Sometimes a simple conversation can spark a breakthrough. Tip 6, take breaks and disconnect. Finally know when to step back and recharge. Creativity doesn't thrive under constant pressure. If you're feeling stuck, sometimes the best thing that you can do is take a break. Go for a walk, meditate, or do something totally unrelated to your task. Let your mind wander, and when you return, you'll often find the answer is waiting for you. Remember, creativity, it isn't reserved for a chosen few. It's something we all have inside of us. Let's get it, hustlers.
When the road gets tough, the tough get creative. Today, we're diving into stories where thinking outside the box made all the difference. Stories of real people who used innovative solutions to solve problems that initially seemed impossible. First up, let me introduce you to Sarah, a high school teacher in a low-income neighborhood. Her challenge? The school's budget cuts left her without the tech tools she needed to help her students succeed. Computers, tablets, and even basic supplies. Many of her students were falling behind, struggling to keep up in a world where tech was becoming a necessary for education. But Sarah wasn't about to let that stop her. Instead of accepting defeat, she got creative. she launched a community recycling program, collecting old computers, phones, and tablets that people no longer needed. She partnered with local tech companies and volunteers to refurbish these devices. Within months, Sarah had created a fully functional, student-run tech lab, all without a penny from the school's budget. Her students not only had access to technology, but were learning how to repair and maintain it, gaining real-world skills. That's innovation at work, turning a lack of resources into an opportunity. Next, let's talk about James, a small business owner who faced the challenge of his life during the global pandemic. His family-run restaurant had been a staple in the neighborhood for years, but with lockdowns in full force, it seemed like the end of the road. Orders were down, the bills were stacking up, and the future looked bleak. But instead of throwing in the towel, James and his team took a step back and asked, how can we do this differently? They completely transformed their business model. They turned their dine-in restaurant into a meal kit service, delivering fully prepped ingredients with simple instructions for families to cook at home. James didn't stop there. He also started virtual cooking classes where people could learn to make his famous dishes from their kitchens. The move was a hit. Not only did it keep the business alive, but it also brought the community together in a new way. People weren't just ordering food, they were learning, engaging, and connecting with James's restaurant in a deeper way than ever before. These stories aren't just about beating the odds, they're about finding new ways to look at old problems. Sarah and James faced challenges that could have easily knocked them down. But instead of sticking to the status quo, they became innovative. And here's the lesson. Creative problem solving isn't just for creative types. It's for anyone willing to approach challenges with an open mind. Whether you're facing obstacles in your personal life, at work, or in your community, there's always a solution waiting to be found. You have to be willing to look beyond the obvious. The next time you're faced with a roadblock, don't stop. Don't settle for, that's just the way it is. Instead, ask yourself, how can I approach this differently? Sometimes the solution is closer than you think. It just takes a little creativity.
We've all been there, sitting in a meeting, bursting with fresh ideas, only to hesitate because we're not sure how to get those ideas heard, let alone implemented. It's one thing to develop a creative solution or new approach, but getting it off the ground in the workplace, that's a whole different story. This week's challenge is all about implementing creative ideas in the workplace, taking those big, bold ideas you've been holding on to and figuring out how to make them a reality. Let's face it, even the most innovative workplaces can resist change. There's often a, this is how we've always done it mentality, and pushing against that can feel like an uphill battle. You've got the creative vision, but you must navigate office politics, win over skeptics, and convince the higher-ups that your idea is worth the risk. Here's the thing. Creative ideas are only as powerful as your ability to execute them. You can be a visionary, but your ideas might never see the light of day without the right strategy. So how do you think you could bridge that gap? How do you turn your creative thinking into something tangible at work? First, it starts with communication. Your idea might be groundbreaking, but if you can't clearly sell it, people will tune out. Break it down in a way that resonates with your team or leadership. Instead of just pitching the idea, show them its potential impact, how it could solve a problem, increase efficiency, or drive the company forward. Speak their language and tie your idea to the bigger picture. Second, be ready to show that you've thought it through. People are more likely to buy in when they see that research, a plan, and an understanding of the potential risks back your idea. It's not enough to be excited about it. You need to prove it's viable. Third, start small. You don't have to flip the entire workplace upside down overnight. Sometimes, implementing creative ideas means starting with a small test or pilot project. Show the results, tweak as needed, and build momentum from there. When people see success on a small scale, they're more likely to join a bigger rollout. Here's the real challenge: staying persistent. Creativity thrives when we're determined enough to push through resistance. You'll face pushback. Some people won't see the vision right away. But don't let that stop you. The most significant innovations often come from those willing to keep pushing, even when nobody else is on their side. This week, challenge yourself to take that creative idea you've been sitting on and find a way to bring it to the table. Use your voice, do your homework, and don't be afraid to start small. In the end, the workplace needs people like you who aren't afraid to shake things up, push boundaries, and bring fresh energy into the mix. So, here's the question. What creative idea will you put into action this week?